He peed on other people and masturbated in public, but managed to make kings look like fools, influenced the minds of pirates, and began a movement of philosophy that is still unmatched to this day. Society called him insane. History called him a genius. He didn't care what either thought. This is the story of Diogenes the dog, the last man who dared to be truly free, and what would have happened if he were alive today. Diogenes, also known as Diogenes of Sinope, is one of the most unconventional and provocative philosophers of ancient Greece. Born around 403 BCE in Sinope, a wealthy port city on the Black Sea, Diogenes had a privileged upbringing. His father was a banker and mint master, which gave Diogenes access to education and opportunities reserved for the elite. However, his early life took a dramatic turn when he became embroiled in a scandal involving the defacement of currency. Some accounts suggest that Diogenes himself was guilty of tampering with the coins, while others implicate his father. Either way, this incident led him to exile from Sinope, forcing him to leave behind his comfortable life and settling him on a path that would redefine his existence. Exile was not merely a punishment for Diogenes, it became the foundation of his philosophy. Stripped of his home, wealth, and status, he embraced a life of radical simplicity and self-sufficiency. He moved to Athens, where he sought out the philosophy of Socrates. Socrates, who died when Diogenes was an infant, had also tried to live a simple life. He usually went barefoot and wore shabby old clothes, but he had a house and a family. Diogenes not only adopted Socrates' simplicity, but he also pushed it to its extreme, so much so that Plato, Diogenes' contemporary, allegedly called him Socrates gone mad, and thus began the movement of cynical philosophy. Diogenes didn't just live like a dog, he embraced it. The term cynic comes from the Greek kynikos, meaning dog-like, and Diogenes earned the title the dog not as an insult, but as a badge of honor. He barked at hypocrisy, bit back at authority, and lived without shame or restraint. His influence was so powerful that centuries later, Emperor Julian the Apostate called the Cynic philosophy the army of the dog. No one knows the exact moment Diogenes went full feral, but legends tried to capture it. One story says he saw a mouse nibbling crumbs beside him, completely content, no bed, no shelter, no possessions, and in that tiny creature, Diogenes saw freedom. So he stripped his life down to nothing, just a single cloak folded in two, cool in the summer, warm in the winter. He consistently went barefoot and only carried a knapsack for such possessions as he needed, basically his food. Supposedly, he owned a cup for a time, which served also as a bowl for food, but allegedly he threw it away when he saw a boy drinking water from his hands and eating food off a piece of bread, realizing one did not even need a bowl for sustenance. The largest speculation was that he often slept in a large ceramic jar near the Athenian marketplace. Not a metaphor, a literal earthen jar. Whether it was fully true or just a symbol, the message was clear. Wealth, power, and social status were meaningless distractions from living a virtuous life. He openly mocked those who valued such things and used shocking behavior to challenge societal norms. For instance, he ate in public spaces despite it being considered improper, defecated in theaters to show disdain for vanity, peed on people who were rude to him, and even performed private acts like masturbation in public to emphasize the naturalness of human needs. And when we said he mocked people, we weren't exaggerating. One of his most famous acts involved carrying a lit lantern during the day while he wandered through Athens. When asked what he was doing, he replied that he was searching for an honest man but could only find scoundrels. However, it was his encounter with Alexander the Great that would cement his name in philosophical history. Alexander, the young king from Macedonia who had conquered huge territories and was hailed as one of history's greatest military leaders, sought out Diogenes during his stay in Corinth. By this time, Diogenes was already famous, or infamous, for his Cynic philosophy. When Alexander approached him, the philosopher was said to be lying in the sun, enjoying its warmth. The king greeted him with respect and asked if there was anything he could do for him. Diogenes responded with a simple yet cutting remark. "Yes, stand a little out of my sun." This reply stunned everyone present. It was not just a dismissal of Alexander's offer, but a direct rejection of everything Alexander represented: power, wealth, and influence. Alexander himself was deeply impressed by Diogenes' audacity and independence. As he walked away, he reportedly said, "If I were not Alexander, I would want to be Diogenes." The legacy of this meeting shows us that material wealth and social status are fleeting. They cannot shield us from morality or bring lasting happiness. Alexander's later years reflected this realization. Before his death at just 32 years old, he reportedly instructed that his hands be left outside his coffin to show that even Alexander the Great left this world empty-handed. Perhaps what is fascinating about Diogenes is that his life and philosophy were a direct confrontation to the values of his time and ours, forcing us to think about whether the things we pursue and believe in truly lead to a meaningful life. People work hard to earn money, buy things, and climb social ladders because they believe these will make them happy. Diogenes rejected all of these. He believed that true happiness came from self-sufficiency and living in harmony with nature. He argued that if we strip ourselves of unnecessary desires, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of wanting more and more. This idea is deeply uncomfortable for many today because it questions the entire consumer-driven way of life. If happiness doesn't come from material success, like owning a home, having brand-name clothes, a nice car, or the newest phone, then what are we really chasing? He also had a unique view on morality that challenges modern assumptions. Today, morality is often tied to societal norms, laws, or religious teachings. People are taught to behave in ways that society deemed acceptable. Diogenes believed that these rules were artificial and hypocritical. He thought morality should be based on nature rather than human conventions. Like how we mentioned, he openly mocked social customs by doing things in public that others considered shameful. To him, these actions were natural and not inherently wrong. Society's judgment was what made them seem improper. His philosophy forces us to ask whether our moral values are truly rooted in what is right or simply in what society has conditioned us to believe. His ideas about freedom are perhaps the most striking. In modern times, freedom is often understood as having choices or rights: freedom to vote, freedom of speech, freedom to own property. But Diogenes saw these as shallow forms of freedom because they still tie people to external forces, like governments or possessions. True freedom for him was internal. It meant not being enslaved by desires or fears. Are your moral beliefs genuine if they're shaped by societal expectations rather than reason? Are you free if you're controlled by your desires or the opinions of others? All these questions you should ask yourself. How would Diogenes possibly view influencers, consumer culture, and the obsession with status? If Diogenes were alive today, his disdain for influencers, consumer culture, and the obsession with status would likely be as sharp and biting as his critiques of ancient Greek society. In his view, our constant pursuit of fame and money through curated lifestyles, sponsored posts, and self-promotion would represent the very opposite of the self-sufficiency he valued. What do you think he would do in today's world? Would he have judged your lifestyle? Evidently, if Diogenes were alive today, he'd likely mock the endless cycle of consumption, people buying things they don't need to impress people they don't like. He might stage a public spectacle, tossing luxury goods into a dumpster, parading through shopping malls yelling that happiness can't be bought, only distracted from. The cult of status would be another target. You could picture him crashing red carpet events, confronting celebrities, tearing apart the illusion of achievement without virtue. But even Diogenes wasn't immune to the chaos of life. Later in his life, he was captured by pirates and sold into slavery, a fate that would have shattered most people, but not him. Diogenes didn't see this as humiliation. In fact, he turned it into kind of a power move, claiming, I know how to govern men. Sell me to someone who needs a master." And so he was, to a Corinthian named Zenades, a very wealthy and skeptical philosopher. Once in Zenades' household, Diogenes reportedly became a tutor to his sons, and even helped manage the household, teaching them in line with his philosophical views. Even in chains, Diogenes lived on his own terms, holding true to his values until the very end. He died around 323 BCE under uncertain circumstances. Some say he voluntarily held his breath. Others say he contracted colic from eating a raw octopus, or that he was bitten by dogs while feeding them octopus. Whatever the cause was, we do know that if he lived today, he might be diagnosed with schizotypal personality disorder or seen as an extreme minimalist. However, his consistency in action and philosophy suggests he wasn't delusional, but rather a radical thinker. So ask yourself this: do you ever wonder if there's a different way to live? One that's actually you? Are you simply wearing a mask that society forced upon you and don't know who the person in the mirror really is? Maybe that's because you're living for validation. And Diogenes would be telling you, right now, to burn the mask and embrace who you really are. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of this radical philosopher, be sure to like and subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, the freest man in the world was the one who had nothing to lose.